What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. This is episode number 129 or 8. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I know for sure, guys, you are going to enjoy this episode and tomorrow's episode of the Career Mode. It's a very interesting one, to say the least. We have the semi-finals of the Champions League coming up against Manchester United. That double leg will be played over the next couple of episodes. In terms of that one, though, guys, there's potentially going to be a Leeds United final. They did, in fact, win their first leg against PSG by 2-0. That one was already played before we played ours. So, until tomorrow's episode, we won't actually know who makes that final between PSG and Leeds United. Most likely, it'll probably be Leeds. We'll have to wait and see what happens, though, come the back end of the final second leg. So, that's still to come in today's episode. Before that one, though, guys, we've got this game coming up against Roma in the Serie A, I'm going to call it, of course. I've always known it as a Serie A, but, of course, this year it's called the Calcio A, which is, it's always a bit different when you get different leagues like this and the name changes. It can be a bit annoying, like La Liga Santander, for example. I've always just known it as La Liga. But, you know, the EA this year, I don't know if it's to do with licensing or if it's something like that. But unfortunately, it's not called the same as I was once knowing it. You can see by the league table, guys, 35 played, 30 wins, 3 draws, 2 defeats in the league so far. The league title's pretty much wrapped up. 3 games to go. We've already mathematically secured it, I do believe. I don't think Juventus can catch us at this point. And there is the Roma side. Coincidentally, guys, Florenzi is actually playing at centre midfield today. So that's an interesting one. That one, of course, default set as a right back. He has some incredible stats, though. Pretty much all 80s on his inform card on Ultimate Team. So he has the potential to be able to play in that CEM role. And if it wasn't for his height, he could be a beastly centre mid. If he was like 6'2" or 6'1", with the same stats, then he could be an absolute monster. But still, a very good centre mid nonetheless. I have to be mindful of him today. You can see the team we named on our screen. It popped up, I think, before we went into game and then before this game happened. And it was still a very strong one, to say the least. I'm going to keep naming these sort of teams, even though we've already mathematically secured the championship. It's just because I want to make sure that I'm still playing well and on winning ways to keep momentum going. Early chance for us here, 29 minutes in. We got down the left-hand side. Varela forcing a keeper into the save. And then we ended up whipping a cross in, and Timothy Fosu Mensah got his noggin on the end of it. 30 minutes on the clock. Roma 0. Inter Milan 0. A very good way to start this one off. Fosu Mensah, of course, formerly of Manchester United, could potentially be playing against his former club in the next 2 legs that come up. But he starts this one today, and I think he started in centre-back for us, if I remember correctly, due to fitness reasons, because we still had Donsa playing at CM, or CDM, as I like to play him and Fosu Mensah, and I'll alternate them both. But in the end, I ended up putting Fosu Mensah at centre-back, I think, because of fitness reasons. He can play there, so I saw it fit. 6'3", he's got decent height, decent passing, and decent distribution of the ball as well for a centre-back. So, threw him in, and he scored a goal. So, very nice to see as well, scoring from centre-back Timothy Fosu Mensah. Very good goal to give us the lead in this one. And Roma then got themselves really their first chance of the game, 64 minutes in. It was a mistake made by me. No idea what my defender's thinking of doing there, sliding to clear the ball. Just clear it out instead of sliding there. The cross comes in, near post header, should have been 1-1. But ultimately, the Roma man put his header in the side netting, and it ended up being a 1-0 victory after we did get ourselves a goal. Or maybe, no, I think we get a second goal, actually. Shop whips in a ball. Yeah, we do. Raul Jimenez nods us 2-0 into the lead here in the 90th minute, and then I know for sure that we end it here after this one. But to get a 2-0 win in a game that there was very few chances, we took both of ours, and had Roma scored to put it 1-1, it may have been a different story, but they didn't do it. They wasted theirs. We took ours, and the keeper, no idea what he's doing. Why is he off his goal line so far there? He hasn't come to try and get the ball, so it's questionable from him. But in the end, I'll take the headed goal, and we are leading, and we did go on to win it by 2-0. So again, another 3 points on the board. They don't particularly matter, though, because as I said, we already mathematically secured the title, so there is that as the bonus in there as well. So very good to see, to say the least there. Fosu Mensah and Raul Jimenez with the goals in that one, as we dominate most of the proceedings there. Juventus still to play their game against Palermo, so we'll not know how they got on. If you remember as well, guys, we have a cup final coming up against Juventus at the back end of the season, so potentially could actually beat them to the 2 trophies available in the Italian football this season, which would be very nice to do as well. So we got ourselves off to winning ways in the episode. And then I came into this one against Manchester United. If this was still Leeds United, I'd have hands down put us to win this game. But there's something that I just fear about the Man United attack that really makes me think this is going to be tough. Going back to Old Trafford's not going to be easy feat. We've got the home leg first, and then we'll have... Oh, wait, no. Have we got the home leg? I think we go... Yeah, we've got the home leg first, and then we've got the away leg to come. So, in all honesty, guys, going to Old Trafford's definitely not going to be easy. They have an unbelievable attack. You'll see it on your screen when we go into game. And to say the least, right, they've got, I think, 4 high-quality strikers. Rashford, Sanabria, I think they've got Dybala and Harry Kane, all of which are 88 and above. To have 4 strikers that you can call upon at any point and have them all at that rating, it's a similar situation we had at Leeds there. That's why it got so easy for me. So, to have that quality and have some of them sat on the bench is absolutely mind-blowing. But at the end of the day, they have it, and the best teams in the world can call on the best talent to come off the bench and change a game. And that's exactly what I've got to be mindful for in this game against Manchester United. However, having said all that, their defensive unit probably not going to be as good as we first expected. Remember, we've got Bailly over to Leeds, so he's not there anymore. So I know they've got Smalling. I can't quite remember off the top of my head who is the other centre-back in their partnership at the back there for Mourinho. But what I will say is, I was not really fearing the midfield and defence. It was just the attack that I was looking at, thinking that it could be a tough game for us. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we've got Ziterbo playing and we've got Amang playing, so two very fast, pacey strikers. So the chances are, if we get in behind, as we have been doing in previous rounds of this competition, we're going to get a nice few attacks going. And you can see we have, of course, Renato Sanchez playing in behind them, the 91 rated all-round centre midfield beast. And I was looking forward to it, to say the least. It's our first sort of real test in it from an English team, if you will, since leaving England and coming over to Italy. You can see there, it's actually Umtiti, so they have a pretty decent centre-back pairing. But in all honesty, guys, I didn't really fear it. I mean, there's some other centre-back pairings that I would have really not wanted to play against, like, for example, Bailly and Oxford, because both of those guys are just unbelievable at Leeds, and we've seen what they can do. And Amang steals the pocket of Chris Smalling and has 3 chances to put the ball in the back of the net. Initially, not the greatest strike, but a decent save from De Gea, and then the open net was just poor. He should have been hitting that into the side. No idea why he went straight at the keeper, so we should have been 1-0 up in the game, and we weren't. And 30 minutes on the clock here. Vincenzini goes down the left-hand side. De Gea punches the ball out. It comes back to Amang for the second time in the game, and he can't get his header on target and ends up putting it wide of the post. So 2 very good chances in the first 30 minutes of the game. 43 minutes on the clock now as Ziterbo down this right-hand side, cuts back, gives it to Renato Sanchez. Sanchez down into Vincenzini. He sees the run of Dalbert coming in from the left-back spot. Dalbert surely to make it 1-0, and he's put it wide, honestly. And 3 really good chances, 45 minutes in. I'm asking this game to go wrong until came straight out after half-time. Dalbert goes on a mazy run, gets past a couple of players, cuts it to the byline, dinks it in. Thomas Amang, get your head on it. 1-0 into Milan. Straight from the restart of the second half, Dalbert goes on a crazy, mazy run down the left-hand side, gets to the byline, dinks a ball in, and Amang's there to make it 1-0. In a game that we already had 3 very good chances to take the lead, that one was an absolute peach of a run from Dalbert, and I'll give him credit from left-back. You know, to create a run like that and then just get away from Smalling in time to whip the ball across. Very, very good work from Dalbert at left-back today. So we got ourselves the opening goal of the game. And, of course, I wanted to make sure I would take a 1-0 much more preferable to a 2-1 or a 3-1 situation, because I want to keep them down to 0 away goals. If we don't give them an away goal, then we're in a good setting to go back to Old Trafford and see what we can do over there. And 63 minutes in, Amang here gets in on the goal, cuts it back, eventually gives it off to Ziterbo. He can't win the header, though. It comes back to Amang. Amang with the ball at his feet now, gives it to Vincenzini. Vincenzini to Renato Sanchez. First time shot comes in from the Portuguese man. Unfortunately, though, it was wide of the post. And then, guys, 66 minutes in, straight from the goal kick, David De Gea gave the ball away to his right back here. The right back gets a bit sort of unsure what to do with it, tries to give it off here, gets tackled originally by Amang, and then it comes into Smalling. Smalling gives the ball away straight to Fosu Mensah, gives it off to Renato Sanchez. Sanchez into Ziterbo, and he should be scoring that one. We should be 2-0 up in the game. That was where I lacked today. My finishing was poor, and had my finishing been slightly better, it would have been an absolute goal fest for us. And it got worse because Manchester United did in fact get themselves the away goal. Came at the left-hand side, and originally it was a good save by Lou, and I tried to block the shot with the defender, and he just dragged it out of position. They got the rebound and managed to make it 1-0. So 15 minutes to go in the game. We were drawing, 1-1, but of course the away goal is a vital thing to have in Champions League football, and they've got it here. So we have to go to Old Trafford now, and we can't, draw the game if it ends 0-0 there and it ends 1-1 here. We'll eventually go on to be knocked out on away goals, which isn't a good thing to see. So 88 minutes in, I knew I had to try and get the lead in this one if I could. Try and make it 2-1 before the full-time whistle went. Vincenzini down the left gets into a really good position to whip a cross in, much like the first goal. Cuts to the byline, whips it into the back post, and Inaki Williams is there to nod us into the lead. So 90 minutes on the clock, leading the game by 2-1. They did in fact get the away goal though, so going back to Old Trafford in tomorrow's episode will not be easy to do. With that away goal, if they score 1 and end up winning it by a 1-0, we'll still go out on that away goal ruling, which isn't going to be good to see. So provided we can go there and draw the game and we win it by 2-1 on aggregate, we'll be through to the final of the Champions League in our first season as the Inter Milan boss. So 90 minutes on the clock. You can see eventually the referee did in fact blow his whistle to commemorate the full-time whistle. There it was, 2-1 victory. And it's going to be an interesting second leg, let me just tell you that right now for sure. Going back to Old Trafford, our first time back in England since moving over to Inter Milan, this is going to be interesting. We travel to Old Trafford to take them on and potentially knock them out of the semi-final of the Champions League. Provided, guys, as well, Man United have been knocked out of the semi-finals the last 3 years. Twice to Bayern, and then if they... Oh, right, no, the last 2 years, and they'll get knocked out the third year running if we beat them and we go there tomorrow. So we'll have to see. They got knocked out twice to Bayern. Potentially, we're going to get knocked out by us. We'll see what happens in tomorrow's episode. If you enjoyed this one, and appreciate a like, rate, and as always, guys, thank you all for your continued support on the channel, and I'll catch you all with that video tomorrow at 4 p.m. Do not miss it. Adios.